Let's be real. There comes a point where you stop pretending that everything's okay, where you wake up and realize life didn't break you. You've just been breaking yourself, slowly, silently, by holding on to things that no longer serve you. The world tells you to keep pushing, to hustle, to strive, to stay positive. But no one tells you the truth. Sometimes what's keeping you stuck isn't your effort. It's your inability to let go of the weight. Not all suffering is necessary. Some of it we choose, out of habit, out of fear, out of love that no longer loves us back. And deep down, you already know it. You know what keeps you up at night. You know what drains your soul. You know what makes you shrink when you should be expanding. But you keep tolerating it because change is uncomfortable, and pain, at least, is familiar. But what if I told you that 94% of your pain isn't fate, karma, or bad luck? It's just misalignment. Misalignment with your values, misalignment with your boundaries, misalignment with your truth. You don't need a miracle to change your life. You just need a moment of clarity and the courage to act on it. So take a breath. Drop your guard. Let this be the wake-up call you've been waiting for, because everything you're about to hear, it isn't motivational fluff. It's a blueprint, a quiet roadmap out of your chaos. Let's start here. The first thing you must understand is this. Mindset isn't a luxury, it's survival. You can have talent, you can have resources, but if your mindset is infected with doubt, fear, and shame, you will sabotage everything you touch. Life doesn't respond to how hard you try. It responds to how deeply you believe. And most people don't believe in themselves, not because they're weak, but because the world conditioned them to distrust their own power. You were born free, but somewhere along the way you were trained to think small, to play safe, to seek approval. You became a prisoner in your own head, bound by invisible chains called, "What will they think?" But here's the raw truth. People will judge you no matter what, whether you stay quiet or speak loud, whether you play it safe or go all in. So you might as well do it your way. Because every day you don't. You're not avoiding pain, you're prolonging it. That's lesson one. Free your mind or stay trapped in a life you don't recognize. And once your mind clears, belief begins. But not the Instagram version, not the cute quotes or the trendy mantras. I'm talking about real belief, the kind that rewires you from the inside. Belief isn't hoping. It's knowing. It's walking into a storm without needing sunshine to follow you. It's saying, even if no one sees it yet, I know what I'm building. But belief is heavy because it means trusting something that hasn't arrived yet. It means carrying vision when there's no evidence. And most people can't handle that. So they settle. They shrink their dreams to fit their current reality, instead of expanding their reality to fit their true dream. Let that sink in. Because if you don't believe in you, why would anyone else? Belief isn't for the lucky. It's for the relentless. It's for the quiet warriors who refuse to fold. And when belief becomes your compass, clarity starts to form. Clarity is the peace that cuts through the noise. It's not loud, it's not frantic. It's knowing what matters and refusing to be distracted by what doesn't. Clarity is not always comfortable because it often reveals the very thing you've been avoiding. That toxic friendship you've been defending. That job that pays well but kills your spirit. That relationship you outgrew 12 months ago. See, confusion is comfortable. It lets you delay. But clarity demands action. Clarity says, you know what to do. Now do it. Most people aren't stuck because they don't know. They're stuck because they don't want to accept what they already know. So here's lesson 3. Clarity is power, but it's useless without courage. Next, you'll need something even more powerful. Vision. Not goals, not plans. Vision. Vision isn't a checklist. It's an identity. It's not about what you want. It's about who you're becoming. A strong vision doesn't just pull you forward, it pushes distractions out of your way. It gives meaning to the mundane. It gives purpose to the pain. When you have vision, you stop chasing approval. You stop comparing. You stop negotiating with your potential. You become dangerous, not to others, but to your own excuses. But here's what they don't tell you. Vision will cost you comfort. It will isolate you, because not everyone will understand your fire. But you weren't built for everyone. Your vision isn't supposed to make sense to small minds. And if it does, dream bigger. Because once you start honoring your vision, something changes. You stop asking, "What should I do?" And you start asking, "What am I meant to do?" That's where purpose comes in. Purpose isn't just about changing the world. It's about waking up and knowing why you're here. It's the fire that keeps burning, even when no one's clapping. Even when you're tired, unseen, unrecognized. A person with purpose doesn't chase. They attract. They move different. They don't get distracted by every shiny thing because their soul is locked in. And the irony? You've always known your purpose. You've just been too distracted or too afraid to follow it. It's in that thing that excites you and terrifies you. That idea you can't stop thinking about. That moment of flow when time disappears. That quiet voice that keeps whispering, "There's more for you than this." And once you stop running from it, once you stop settling for less, purpose gives you power. Because it gives your pain a reason. People who are driven by purpose don't fear obstacles. They outgrow them. And if you're serious about your purpose, then you'll need your next weapon. Discipline. Not the rigid, joyless kind that feels like punishment, but the deep, soul-level kind of discipline that says, "I'm committed to my future more than I'm addicted to my comfort." Discipline is showing up when it's not fun, when it's not cute, when no one's watching, and your motivation's gone and your mood is trash. It's trading temporary pleasure for permanent growth. It's skipping shortcuts because your standards are too high for average. Let me be blunt. Your future is hidden in your daily habits, and if you're not changing those, you're not changing anything. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start moving while you're afraid. Because discipline isn't born from motivation. It's born from decisions. Hard ones, lonely ones, powerful ones. And when discipline becomes a lifestyle, guess what follows? Action. Because nothing in your life changes until you move. Thinking isn't doing. Planning isn't doing. Even healing isn't doing. If you're using it as an excuse to stay stuck. You want results? Take action. Action is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. It's not always pretty. It won't always feel aligned, but it's the only thing that builds momentum. Waiting for the perfect time? It doesn't exist. Waiting to be confident? Confidence comes after action, not before. So act scared, act unsure, act messy, but act. You'll never feel fully prepared, but you'll feel something better. Progress. And then, right when it starts working, life will test you. Things will go sideways, plans will fall apart, people will shift. And that's when you'll need this. Gratitude. Not the performative kind. Not, "I'm grateful for coffee and sunlight on Instagram." I'm talking about soul-deep gratitude. The kind that anchors you when everything feels like it's falling apart. Gratitude for the lessons, for the delays, for the detours that ended up leading you exactly where you needed to go. Gratitude doesn't mean you love the pain, it means you trust it has purpose. And that trust, it softens the fear, it rewires your brain to look for possibility, not just problems. Gratitude is how you stop spiraling. It's how you stay grounded when life tries to shake you. It's not just a mindset, it's a muscle, and if you train it, it'll carry you through every storm. But storms don't always end quickly, which is why the next lesson may be the hardest. Adaptability. You can be disciplined, you can be motivated, But if you can't adapt, you'll break. Adaptability is about shifting without losing yourself, adjusting without abandoning your values. Life will throw things at you that make no sense. People will disappoint you. Plans will backfire. And you can either resist reality, or you can rise with it. You can bend without breaking. You can flow without losing your fire. The strongest trees aren't the stiffest. They're the ones that sway. Adaptability isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It says, I'll keep moving, differently if I have to, but I won't stop. And eventually, after all the mindset work, belief, clarity, vision, purpose, discipline, action, gratitude, and adaptability, you arrive at the one thing that ties it all together: resilience. Not toughness, not pretending you're okay when you're bleeding inside, but real resilience, the kind that's built through breaking and rebuilding, the kind that says, I've lost people, I've lost time, I've lost battles, but I haven't lost myself. That's power. Resilience isn't born from winning. It's born from not quitting. Every scar on your soul, it made you wiser. Every heartbreak, it sharpened your instincts. Every failure, it gave you tools that success never could. You are not broken, you are rebuilt. So stop looking at your pain like a curse. It's a curriculum, and you've been learning faster than you realize. And if you've made it this far, then there's only one more lesson to carry: learning. Because if life is the teacher, then pain is the tuition. Everything you've been through, every heartbreak, delay, betrayal, failure, it wasn't random. It was teaching you. You didn't just survive it, you grew through it. And that growth, that evolution, it's the entire point. The people who win at life aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall, learn why, and rise with new wisdom in their hands. They don't keep repeating the same cycles. They pay attention. They reflect. They upgrade. Every mistake becomes data. Every setback becomes a blueprint. And every loss, it sharpens their lens for truth. You're not meant to be perfect. You're meant to progress. You're meant to become the version of you that life has been carving out with every hard moment. But here's the most important part. All the learning in the world means nothing if you're still holding on to the old you. So now is the moment you let go of what no longer serves you. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the shame. Let go of the version of you who had to survive, but doesn't need to lead anymore. You've outgrown the old wounds. You've outgrown the old limits. You've outgrown the old narrative that told you you were too broken, too late, too lost. You're none of those things. You're becoming someone powerful, someone still standing after everything they weren't sure they'd survive, someone who loves deeper, sees clearer, and walks taller, not because life was easy, but because they stopped avoiding the hard parts. You're not just healing, you're awakening. And it's not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to keep going. Sometimes it's choosing not to respond to the chaos. Sometimes it's deleting the number, closing the door, waking up earlier, or just taking one small step when you'd rather quit. But every time you choose alignment over approval, every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you show up when it's hard, you're rewriting your story. You're showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you were never lost. You were learning how to come home to who you really are. So if no one told you lately, you're doing better than you think. You've come further than you realize, and everything you've been through wasn't wasted. The universe keeps receipts, and what you give, your energy, your loyalty, your love, it will return. Maybe not from the same people, maybe not in the way you expected, but it comes back. Because energy never dies. It recycles, it transforms, it rewards. So keep being the kind of person who moves with purpose, speaks with clarity, loves with depth, and acts with discipline. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're building, brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. And one day soon, you'll look back and realize everything that tried to break you, built you. Every ending was an invitation, every delay was divine redirection, every no was protecting the yes that finally fit. So keep going. You're not stuck, you're being shaped. And the next version of you, they're going to make it all make sense.